Krampus night is celebrated on December 5th, the eve of St. Nicholas Day, in Austria and other parts of Europe. Used as a tool to encourage good behavior in children, St. Nicholas serves as the carrot, and Krampus is the stick. Krampus is the evil demon anti-Santa, or maybe his evil twin. He is the yin to Santa's yang. You don't want to be on his list. He is typically depicted in folklore as a traditional demon with one human foot and one hoof foot. The scary demon Krampus frightened children, beat them, or took them away to his lair or hell, usually in a pouch on his back. Often these children were screaming and crying. These figures date back to pagan celebrations, marking the longest night of the year, that were later adopted for Christmas. Together, the Krampus-like figure and the Bishop St. Nicholas, a more austere version of American Santa Claus, held a kind of judgment day for children, where the punishments for being naughty were much more severe than a lump of coal. Many full-grown Austrians and other Europeans have similar tales of Krampus. They tell them with a shudder or a strange smile. They admit that even when they're old enough to know that Krampus was only a man in costume, they couldn't help but be afraid. Their bulky, shaggy shapes provoked primeval terror. It was always the waiting that was the worst, the silence before the onslaught. Some 15 hours are needed for a woodcarver to sculpt each demon mask, which is made from stone pine wood with goat horns attached. The troll-like Krampus emerge when it gets dark. The gnarled, gruesome figures stomp through the Christmas markets of Bavaria, scaring children, sometimes even giving women a spanking. Many towns and cities have Krampus parades, with many young men in elaborate fur costumes and devil masks. After the parade, the Krampus figures scatter and could beat anyone who get in their way. It was very frightening and even dangerous. The Krampusslauf in Salzburg brings 1,500 to 2,000 Krampuses to town on the last Saturday in November, a week before St. Nicholas Day. Like a reversal of Halloween, straddling silliness and sadism, fun and fear, it's an excuse for adults to wear hideous latex and wooden masks, horns and hulking demon costumes, as monstrous as possible to try to frighten and scare the children. As frightening and terrifying as the parades and downtown bonfires must be, some experience something far more sinister, far crueler than any of that, when Krampus visits them in their childhood homes on December 5th, the night preceding St. Nicholas feast day, to punish them for any of their transgressions. St. Nicholas brought gifts, handed out oranges and nuts to any well-behaved siblings, or left treats in their boots placed outside the door. But Krampus brought coal and rootin, bundles of sticks to beat children with. Parents used Krampus as a threat throughout the year to control their brood. Behave, kinder, or Krampus will get you. Just you wait. And if the warning went unheeded, they arranged for a house call. Imagine this, on an icy night, amid the snow-capped mountains and manicured beauty of an Austrian village. It is not a mythical demon that hunts you, but your own neighbors. They come to find you where you live. They are masked, wielding whips and chains and drunk on schnapps offered at every house. To you, a small child, they are actual devils that haunt your nightmares. You dread them for months, trying desperately to be good, pretending to your friends that you aren't afraid, you didn't care. But when they come, a pack of them following St. Nicholas as his petrifying henchmen, your heart hammers and your mouth turns dry. Their strange voices send a shimmer down your spine. They shriek like banshees and clamor to look in the windows while you cower within. The shutters hooked open to expose you to the night. You dare not glance at the dreadful faces pressed to the glass. You know they've come for you because you've been bad, refused to go to bed on time, played truant, or fought with your sister. There's a loud bang at the front door as it's flung wide. You jump with fright, praying, sobbing, but it's too late for that. The Krampuses surge over the threshold, shake their chains as they approach along the hall. Then they're in the room, leering, glowering, tongues hanging, guttural growls filling your ears. You can't escape them. You can't switch on the light and make them disappear. You can't call Mama for comfort. She and Papa stand nearby and watch with arms crossed while the demons lash you with sharp sticks. Then St. Nicholas begins to read a list of your bad deeds from his magic book, his face solemn, disapproving beneath his tulip-shaped bishop's hat, the heavy crucifix around his neck glinting among the folds of his glorious robes, his white beard wagging. "Show me that you know how to pray," he commands. You drop to your knees and begin reciting a Hail Mary, but before you can finish, one of the Krampuses grabs you, roughly by the scruff, and slings you into the creaking basket on his back. He takes you out of the home, into the cold air and darkness. You know he's going to drown you or eat you or take you to hell. You holler for forgiveness, peering through the gaps in the wicker for signs of salvation, hoping to be rescued. Maybe someone will come, or maybe it's the end of you. In keeping with pre-Germanic pagan traditions, men dressed as these demons have been frightening children on Krampus night for centuries, chasing them and hitting them with sticks on an often alcohol-fueled run through the streets. Austria is the land where Krampus celebrations evolved from village parade to full-on festival. Krampus is a big part of Christmas folklore in the Alpine countries of Europe, like Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Romania, and the Czech Republic. Who knew there could be such a dark side to traditional Christmas folklore? Maybe American children should really learn more about Krampus and being wary of him. If I were a kid and knew about the anti-Santa, I'd never misbehave, ever, in my entire life. The name of the Krampus goes back to the old German word for claw, Krampen. The custom of the Krampus originates from the time before the Inquisition, when dressing up as a devil-like creature was punished with death. In small towns and cities, during Krampus night, revelers dress up in Krampus and devil-related costumes and masquerade through the streets, scaring people. Krampus festivals throughout Alpine communities kick off the holiday season, with townspeople dressing in Krampus costumes, running rampant through the streets and putting a scare in the youngsters. After the children have been given a proper fright to ensure they stay on the straight and narrow, the rowdy Krampus are rewarded with holiday spirits, traditionally beer and schnapps. In the 1930s, the Krampus tradition was prohibited in Austria, thought to be too traumatic for children, and for many years the practice fell out of favor, continuing only in isolated rural areas. But Krampus is now enjoying a resurgence. Some view Santa's dark alter ego as necessary, while others think the experience will scar the children for life. The goat-headed, troll-like monsters come out at night and roam Christmas markets in villages, terrifying children into being good in many parts of Europe. Of course, in North America, we would never expose our children to such a traumatic experience.